All right. Hi. The New York Central System Operating Instruction Diesel Electric Road Locomotives E Electric Motor Division GP7 Locomotives Class DRSP Direct Reverse Straight Polarity 4G Direct Reverse Straight 4F Road Workers 5676 to 5685 Incorporated Sup of Equipment P&L and E and RR McKees Rocks Pennsylvania December 1st 1951. All right. Operating instruction: electric motive class DRSP 4G DRS 4F 1500 horsepower locomotive. Road numbers 567 5685 incorporated. Changing operating cabs. Engines running. While configured, the locomotive includes the two units for the operating control. Following the procedure should be followed with the changing of the one operating end to the opposite end. Caution: the completion changeover must be made with as quickly as possible because the fuel pumps are shut off and the diesel engine will suck the fuel lines dry and possibly resulting in damage in fuel injectors. Leading cab: remove the reverse handle, make the full surface brake by production, then lap automatic brake valve. Remove the automatic brake valve handle. Move the double heading cock onto trailing position. 3. Move the independent brake valve handle to the release position. Remove the handle. Place the headlight control switch to the left or control position. 5. Stop the train control generator switches to the left and underneath the train control generator. 6. Open all switches to engine control station off position except for the transition forestalling switch, which remains in the up auto position. Toggle switch or engine man control stand remains in the road position. New leading cab. Change the control and the fuel pump switch to the on position. All other switch to the necessary transition forestalling switch should remain in the up auto position. Toggle switch on the engine control stand remains road position. Insert the reverse handle brake valve handles to start the train control generator switch. Hit to the left underneath the train control generator. Place the double heading cock in the lead position. Reset the train control, pulling the rest of the valve to handle back. Pausing and then placing hand valve forward. Resetting the valve is located with the rear right corner of the locomotive in the front of the steps. 6. Place independent brake valve in the full application position. Move the automatic brake valve to the running position. Place the headlight switch in the right and control position. Before moving the locomotive. Release the independent brake. Shutdowns in freezing weather. When it is decided to shut down the engine during a layover of the freezing weather, they must either be drained or heated by steam from the outside source. If the steam is available to take in the following steps of protection against freezing. 1. Open the steam emission valve of the engine cooling system. Cooling water located on the floor right-hand front of the inside of the engine room near the lube oil filters. Open the G valve. Connect the outside source for the steam to the train line locomotive. Open the locomotive not equipped with the train line. Connect the outside source for the steam pipe to under the running boards above the truck on the right side. Steam generator protection. The locomotive is equipped with the steam generators. Most of the following valves open. In addition, with these other undercooling systems above the following valves are numbered or located with the steam generator compartment. Steam emission valve number 11 for the train line. Steam emission valve number 10 for the radiation. And 3. Layover connection shutoff valve number 6. 4. The water suction drain out valve number 20. And 5. Water supply stop valve number 21. All right, your PC switch. The pneumatic control switch is an air-operated electrical switch. The switch is stripped of the automatic brake valve. Automatic brake application by a manual emergency application with the switch with the tip to the automatically reduce the speed of the engine idle to all throttle position except for the 5th and 6th position. In these two positions, the engine will stop immediately. With the pneumatic control switch, also shuts off all the fuel pumps, and although the engine may have gone idle, they will be stopped in a few minutes from a lack of fuel. The pneumatic control chip indicates that it will show the switch is tripped. To reset the pneumatic control switch after the automatic brake application, return the throttle to the idle position. Proceed as follows. Lap the automatic brake valve. 2. Reset the train control, pulling the right reset valve with the handling back and pausing, then placing the handle forward. Reset valve is located on the right rear of the corner of the locomotive in the front over the steps. To reset the pneumatic control switch after the manual emergency brake application, return the throttle to the idle. Move the automatic brake valve handle out of the emergency position. Alright, Section 5, Operating Instruction. The ELSCO Type M2 steam generator is designed for the maximum operating steam pressure of 325 pounds. The rate was steamed out of 3,000 pounds per hour plus 20%. The control safety device incorporated to ensure the fully automatic operation starting with a set with a maintained operating steam pressure ranging from 260 to 290 pounds. Fuel metering control for the actuator of the boiler pressure. High steam's output with the boiler pressure will reduce to 290 pounds. At a light loads, with the pressure will approach 260 pounds. Two safety valves are provided, with one being with the 325 pounds, the other with the 335 pounds. Thus, the automatic controls working properly with the safety valve should not come into play. In starting the steam generator while opening with the steam line of the train heating system, of the instruction given below with the file of the operating procedure for the simple and such that the operator does not necessarily require understanding of the working principle with the steam generator, yet is true without any mechanical device. General knowledge of the working principle is desirable. Alright, your ELSCO steam generator type M2 troubleshooting normal. When a main switch is closed, the pressure gauge lamp, the water gauge lamp, and the electrical eye indicating lamp. The trouble: if one of these lamps does not light, check for a burned out lamp. If none of these lamps light, check for a blown main line for 150 amp fuse in the trip of the line circuit breaker. If you check the blown fuses in the motor control cabinet. Alright, normal. B, alarm bell should not ring. Trouble: if the alarm bell rings, push the stop button in the check controls switch. It should be in the starting position. 2. After pushing the start button on with the control switch is the starting position, A, the motor start comes in up to speed, driving the circulating pump, the fuel oil pump, the blower, and fan wheel. If the motor does not start, check the reset of the motor overload relay in the motor control cabinet. Reset if necessary, pushing the reset button down. Check the mainline fuses off of the circuit breaker. If used the required final trip, check for the blown fuses in the motor control cabinet. Alright, 2. After pushing the start button with the control switch in the start position, B, start indicating lamp lights. The start indicating lamp does not light, or trouble: if the starting lamp indicating does not light, motor is running, and the motor is running, check for burned out lamps. C, alarm bell should not ring. If the alarm bell rings, check with the control switch if it should be starting in the starting position. 3. Your steam generator motor. A pressure gauge white with hand circulating pump pressure should be 30 to 40 pounds greater than the red hand. The 30 to 40 pound difference is in this pressure is called the differential pressure. It shows steam generation has proper water circulation. If there's no differential pressure, or the pressure is low or unsteady, check for proper amount of water and steam separated with the water on that level, showing the glass and the water necessary for the checking the circulating pump, the discharge line strainer. It may require cleaning. Alright, B, the fuel oil pressure gauge red hand pump, the pressure should be between 240 and 260 pounds normal. Trouble: if the fuel oil pump pressure is low or no pressure, check the oil pump at the suction line by inspecting the flow in the inside glass. Turn the handle on the fuel oil pump suction line strainer to clean the strainer. Check to see if the fuel oil pump shaft is rotating. Check the belt tension, fuel oil relief valve, and the B stuck open. Alright, if your fuel oil pressure gauge, if the fuel oil pump pressure is too high, if the fuel oil action is the fuel oil relief valve may be stuck or closed, pressure gauge may be defective. See, main oil solenoid valve, opens after differential pressure is established. If the main oil solenoid does not open, it makes a definite click when it opens. 4. Control switch is played with the running position with the main steam generator fire. If the burner burner on the lamp does not light, the steam generator fires. Action: check for burned out lamp. A, burner on lamp lights out. The burner on lamp does not light and the alarm bell rings. Check for the proper amount of the water steam separated with the water level, showing the glass not enough. The water can cause loss of differential pressure. Steam generator will not fire. The differential pressure is less than 20 pounds. Also, check the items under the action of 3A. Alright, B, small burner oils solenoid valve opens. This will be indicated with the fuel oil pressure gauge of the red hand dropping about 25 pounds. Ignition converts runs for about 5 seconds, providing spark, after which cuts out with as soon as the fire establishes. The electrical eye indicating lamp goes out. Trouble: if the steam generator does not give the fire within about 5 seconds, the shutdown will occur and an alarm bell will ring. Restart the action. Reset the steam generator. Check the fuel oil pressure pump when the control switch is played for the running position. Note the drop of the fuel oil pump pressure, which indicates the small burning oil with the solenoid valve opens. Check the small burning tip of the plunging. Check through burner peephole with the proper spark and oil atomizing. Check air damper and ringing to set the see if the is low position. Alright, your control switch is placed in the running position to make steam generator fire. Trouble, if no spark or improper spark, check electrical wiring between the ignition transformer and electrodes. Check for the defective electrodes gap between the electrodes should be 3/16 of an inch. If the steam generator fires 5 seconds, the electrical eye indicating lamp remains on. The shutdown occurs with both starter and burner on, indicating lights goes out and alarm bell rings. With the steam generator shut down, clean electrical eye and lens. Alright, 5. Steam generator operating with the closed line, train line shut off valve. The steam generator 5 is automatically cut off with the steam pressure reach of the 295 pound. With the steam pressure drops to 285, it refires. The small burner goes on and off the intervals is called cycling. Trouble, if the steam generator shuts down while cycling, alarm bell rings with both at the start and the burner on, indicating lamps on motor running is reduced the speed. Play for the control switch in the starting position, and this will cut out the alarm bell and will restart the generator. Play for the control switch in the running position. Also check for the items to action for B. If the alarm bell rings with the starting indication light with the burner oil indication light out, check the items for the action of the item 4A with the check of the feed water with the pump steam valve with the valve open with the check of the water gauge glass on the steam separator with the indicating the water steam separator may be foaming. If it's so, give good blowdown using normal manual blowdown valve. If the smoke has if the steam generator operated with a closed line train shut off continued. If the smoke shows at a stack when refiring, then the stack clears. Action, check the small burner electrodes burner is not igniting as quickly as it should. Alright, 6. Steam generator feed lines, feeding steam of the train line. The steam demand of the steam generator may cycle with the 5. The normal steam demanding both the small and large burners will be on large burner pressure, white hand, a fuel oil gauge controlled by the oil regulating valve, and it varies from the steam demand. If the steam generator stops firing, alarm bell rings when it start. The indicating light with the burner on, indicating light out. Check the differential pressure water and gauge and glass water storage tank, the feed water pump with the piping. To check the feed water pump steam valve with the full open. Check the action feed water pump may be sucking the air through the leaky cover of the water treatment tank. Check the items under the action 5A. If the steam generator shuts down, alarm bell rings, start the burner on, indicating lights are out when the motor running is reduced. Check the fuel oil pump pressure with the steam generator off and clean electrical eye lens, and also check the items under action 4B. If the steam generator shuts down, alarm bell rings, but both indicating lights out, motor shuts down. Check the blown main line fuses. Also check the items under the action 2A. If the smoke shows a stack with a large burner on, check the action for the air damper with the rigging of the check the blower of the fan wheel belt. Before starting the steam generator, the auxiliary generator on the locomotive should be running at a main air reservoir should have at least 60 pounds pressure. Check the position of all valves. The valves have the cross handles should be fully open. Valve with the brown handle should be closed, exception of the water glass valve with the reference 2 and 6. Turn handle reference 7 on the fuel oil filter, 1 full turn. Close the main switch of the moving handle reference 1 for the to the on position. Starting steam generator. 1. If no water shows to the glass running of the feed water, refer to number 10, air valve, A, closed pump, steam valve, reference 23, B, closed pump, air valve, reference 9, C, open steam separator, air vent cock, reference 3, while filling. 2. When the water reaches the top of the water glass, place control switch in the reference 12. At the starting position, push the start button and the reference 14 motor will run. 3. Continue to operate with the feed water pump air until the water remains in the water glass, then shut the pump air valve reference 9 and open the pump steam valve with the reference 23. 4. Close the steam separator, air vent cock, reference 3. 5. Place the control switch in the reference 12 with the running position, steam generator will fire. 6. The steam generator comes up to the pressure water will tend to rise on usual man blowdown valve with the reference 25 to main water level in glass. To feed the steam train line, the steam generator pressure with the 275 pounds shown on pressure gauge reference 16 red hand before proceeding 22. Your New York system instruction for the operating remote control equipment, the Vapor Clarkson DRK 4516 1600 pound, OK 4625 2500 pound, and DRK 45 33,000 pound type steam generator units on the diesel electric local road locomotives. Office of General Support Equipment in New York, January 8, 1947, revised May 1950. Your DK4516, OK4625, and DRK4530 type vapor Clarkson steam generator section general description. Steam generally units in the DRK OK series are the 4 circulation coil with the water type of the oil fired have electrical ignition heat of the absorption portion of within the most of the DRK type of the generators consist of the 3 compactly wound coil with a steel tube and connecting the series with a single tube several hundred feet in length with the set with a firebox furnace and compartment with these OK tubes and some of the DRK type have in the addition with above the 3 coil of the economizer's coil located outside of the coil refactory in the path of the exhaust gas of the economizer coil is set in the series with the other coils and forms a part of the single tube. Water is forced into the outer with the economizer coil over the tube of the feed pump of the oil supply with the burner of the fuel pump, while the air of the combustion is delivered into the combustion chamber by the blower. The hot combustion gas passes through the oil coil layers before flowing into the stack. The water passes through the coils and heated, converted into steam. The steam flows from the coils into the external steam separator. From it to the steam train line with the after filling with the coils and the cold water of the steam is generated with the full operating of the pressure 1 to 2 minutes after the firing is lighted during operation. The slightly excessive water circulation through the coil of the flush out scale for the forming of the material. The water sludge are removed from the steel and separated with the fall of the sump of the bottom of the vessel. Sludge is blown into periodically through a blowdown valve. The excess water is returned into the water supply tank through the coil type of the heat exchanger in the flow through the coil. Hot water preheats the feed water with the flow through the casing of the heating exchanger. Your capacity and pressure. The rated capacity of the 4516 type steam generator is 1,600 pound water evaporation per hour, 60 degree Fahrenheit feed water with a system of 300 psi. The 4625 is 2,750 pounds, and with the 4530 type of 3,000 pounds, with the 4516 and the 4530 type capable of delivering 20% rated capacity. At 4625, the type delivered at 10% rated capacity. Steam output and train line pressure control. The steam output of the generator is automatically controlled with accordance with the demand with the water by the bypass regulated with which bypass varying in amount with the water being delivered into the coils. Steam generator pressure, boil pressure, the train line pressures are controlled with the automatic water bypass regulating valve, which may be set in any desired position between 50 to 250 psi length of the train. Weather conditions determine what the setting should be. Or the burner, which the diesel fuel consists of the fuel spray with equipped with the spray nozzle with the air atomizing type of the air atomizing and the breaking of the fuel with the fine spray. The supply with the air brake compressed with on the locomotive with the spray. The ignite with the spark plugs as issued from the atomized from the nozzle. Should the air pressure be too low with the proper atomization, the valve will the spray head DRK type of the generator will close to prevent the discharge of the fuel oil into the combustion chamber. Well, the OK type of the generator low air pressure will allow the spring tension to open the air switch for the contact for the de-energized the fuel solenoid, preventing the discharge of the fuel oil into the combustion chamber. The amount of fuel delivered in the burner is regulated by the servo fuel and controlled proportion with the quantity of the water entering the steam generator coil. To control the air for the combustion servo fuel controlled and linked in the damper in the air intact stack. Your motor converter. The motor drive with the water pump with the fuel pump with the motor with the combination motor converter with the furnaces alternating currents with the transformer and electrical ignition. The main switch. The main switch is the starting equipment is located on the wall near the steam generator unit. Your control switch. The motor would start. The motor will now start unless the control switch is either in the fill or the run position. The DRK type of the generators will switch with the fill position water with the B pump into the steam generator. The fuel cutoff valve with the shut and the burner will not light with the turning of the switch. If the run opens with the fuel cutoff valve with the burner starts at once. If the OK type of the generator switch the switch in the fill position water will be pumped in the steam generator. The fuel solenoid valve de-energized with the burner will not light with the turning of the switch. If the running and energized with the fuel solenoid valve with the burner starts at once. Your steam generator control panel with the control panel gets contained with the relay with the resistors required for the starting and accelerating of the motor. It also contains the resettable overload switch to protect the motor. Steam separator. The excessive water removed from the steam and then this vessel drained with the bottom of the separator after the level rises above the return water outlet pipe of the water is forced through the return water outlet valve from the steam trap. Protective devices. To protect the steam generator against possible damage, a number of the safety devices are provided, but these are devices will either shut down of the burner or the motor, but they are also as follows. These stack switch devices operated with a temperature-sensitive helix inserted at the side of the stack. The strip of these steam generating coils will become sealed and suited up with the external Externally, the heat transfer through the coil of the feed with the water will be reduced, and the stack temperature will arrive within the temperature exceeding 900 degrees Fahrenheit. The stack will open and shut down the motor. With the shutdown, the operation of the device will be evident with the tripping out of the reset button. The alarm bell will ring. Also located the stack switch at the low temperature is the set contact for the open of the stack. With the cool will close. The stack temperature reaches approximately 250 degrees Fahrenheit. The low temperature contact does not cover the reset button to trip the overfire relay. The time delay device for the stack switch with the low temperature contact with the open over the temperature between the low of the 250 degrees is necessary to provide the means of temporary bypassing of this device in order to start the motor when the stack is cold. When the main switch of the open is on, with the control switch is in the off, and the field position, the outer fire of the relay is closed. With the run position with the control switch, outer fire relay de-energized. However, the time delay function feature requires 45 seconds before the relay opens. After this time, the stack switch low temperature contacts have not closed. The motor will be stopped and the alarm bell will ring. Note if necessary, return to the control switch for the off position. Reset for the out fire relay obtained with another 45-second time interval. Fuel control as low water cutoff. The control measure for the fuel into the burner with the proper relation with the water entering the coils. It adjusts the damper for the good combustion throughout the entire range of the output, but the functions are accomplished in the adjustable cam. If the insufficient amount of the water flowing with the steam generator coil with the servo fuel filter with the open with the low water cutoff with the switch, the de-energize with the air solenoid valve. Lack of the atomizing air will cause the burner to shut down. The steam temperature will then begin to drop at the default of the low 250 degrees. The low temperature stack switch will stop at the motor and ring the alarm. The stack switch reset button does not appear. The steam temperature with the limited with the control. The control consists of the route of the tube thermostat within the combustion chamber. They operate for the fuel meter valve of the tube, but the thermostat is off the steam outlet pipe from the coil with excessive steam with the temperature is above 410 to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Absence of the steam cover the tube to expand with the meter with the fuel prevention for the depending with the cools for the overheating. The control does not cover the motor to shut down. Does not require the manual resetting. Other safety devices. Other safeguards provided in addition to these mentioned before as the valve. The two safety valves mounted with the steam separator with these valves are usually set with the relief at 295 to 800 pounds of pressure. The two fuses for the control circuit, two fuses for the ignition circuit located with the control panel, the water relief valve to protect against excessive water pressure should the coils become clogged with the scale of the line will be constructed, obstructed, and set open with a 500 600 pound pressure. Remote control. Some of the insulation provided with the remote control equipment allow the blowdown with the steam separated with the footing, and for the shutting off of the steam of the train line with the locomotive cab. Such of the equipment includes the remote control cabinet located with the cabin in the front with the fireman seat, the electro-pneumatic control cabinet with the electrically operated with the automatic train line, shut off the valve as well with the required air cylinder on the separator blowdown on multiple steam generators. Installation, there's electro-pneumatic cabinet with the one automatic train line, the shut off valve with each of the generator, one remote control panel for hour to control all steam generators. Electro-pneumatic control cabinet. The electro-pneumatic control cabinet is located near the steam generator contained with electrically operated with the air valve. The valve admits for the air cylinder on the separator blowdown valve to open it within the separator blowdown and is pressed onto the remote control panel. Your train line shutoff valve. The train line shutoff button with on the remote control panel is passed with the train line shutoff valve with electrically trips closed by going back to the steam generator, pressing the latching on the lever on the train line shutoff valve to open it. The steam can be again admitted to the train line. Or Section 2, direction of the operation before starting. Check to see if the following valves are open to the water. Suction stop valve with the coil, shut-off valve with the water, inlet valve with the water, bypass regulator, the steam generator, stop valve with the return water, outlet valve with the steam generator, separated water, return valve in line, and the tank atomizing air admission valve with the also petcox, the steam line with the water, bypass regulator, and the steam gauge. The following valves should be closed with the washout solution admission valve with the washout solution, return valve with the manual water, bypass valve with the coil, blowdown valve with the water, pump test valve with all the drain valve with the line between the water tank of the water pump, the OK generator only with layover connection, the shut valve with the steam admission with add to the radiation open in cold weather. So the reset button with the control panel is in. See that the stack switch and the reset button is in. Start the steam generator. Open the steam separator blowdown valve with the foot operated with the for 1 minute with the drain steam separated with the close of the valve. Open the fill test with the valve with the separator closed with the main switch. Determine the control switch in the fill position. Motor will start and then the fill steam generator will with water. 5. As soon as the water discharge from the fill test with the valve, determine the control switch to all position closed with the fill test valve within a few seconds until the motor stops. Determine the control switch with the running burner burner should start at once. Depress the latching lever over the train line shutoff valve to open the valve that made the seam with the train line and open manual train line valves. Set the water with the bypass regulator valve to require with the steam line pressure when the 2 or more steam generators are used with the locomotive that are running and the required with the weather conditions of the water bypass regulators, and all steam generators should be approximately at the same time. Open the foot operated with the separator blowdown valve with the 2 to 3 times with the 3 to 5 second intervals to drain the separator during the first few minutes of the operation. Note, and it may take 5 to 10 minutes to fill the steam generator with water entirely empty. Do not start the steamer generator unless the coils have been filled with water. It may take several minutes time to build up the required steam train line pressure. 3. Check the return water flow on the 45530 and the 4625. The generator the indicator with the should cycle to 10 to 12 times per minute. The high fire with 3 to 4 times per minute. The low fire with the generator open with the operating temperature with the 4516 generator should cycle to 6 to 8 times. High fire 2 to 3 times per low fire. Checks to be made by the operator after starting the steam generator. Check the atomizing air pressure indicated with the gauge. The pressure should be with about 60 to 80 pounds for the DRK 4530 type units. About 30 to 35 pounds for the DRK 4516 type units, about 70 pounds for the OK 4625 type units. Check the fuel oil pressure, manifold pressure, 145 to 165 pounds DRK 4516, 145 to 160 pounds DRK 4530, 145 to 160 OK 4625. If the fire fails to start within the 10 seconds, look through the pipe seat glass at the top of the generator. See if there's a sparkling spark plug with electrodes offset with a check with the water pressure for the fuel pressure for the motors fail to start. Check to see if the main switch is closed. If the motor overloads, reset button is in. If the motor operating, there's no sparkling, let the plug turn the control switch at once for the off position. Check with the shaft and broken the ignition cable, loosen with the broken cable connection. If the motor for the operating of the spark plug function with the check with the water pressure for the there's no pressure show with the gauge if the pressure is too low. With the check to see if the water suction stop valve is open. Coil blowdown valve with the 1 over the drain valve may be open. There may be no air pressure for the 2B spray head nozzle or the air pressure may be too low. Operating the steam generator with the remote control. After the steam generators have been with the start with the steam pressure, each of the generators' train line pressure have been properly set. With the following operations can be performed from the locomotive cab within the remote control equipment that is installed. Turn the master switch of the remote control panel on the on position. Adjust the rheostat with the right hand side of the remote control panel to give the desired illumination from the steam train with the line pressure gauge. 3 above the half about every half hour to press the separator blow down push button. Hold it in for 3 to 5 seconds. If the emission of the steam of the train line with the B shut off with the purpose of the cutting of the car out with the train and lifting with the protecting of the cab over the train line shut off button with the press of the button and with the globe of the train line globe valve. 5. After the emission of the steam of the train line with the bin shut off, the remote control will be necessary to open each of the train line shut-off valve with the manually at the steam generator pressing the latching the layer with the readily with the steam back with the train line with the global valve must be opened in the slowly fully open position. Running attention when no remote control equipment is installed. Open the separator blow valve down half hourly with 3 to 5 seconds blow down separator with the various gauges to ensure that yourself with the generator is running satisfactory. To shut down the steam generator, the remote control with the red press of the train line shut off valve with the remote control panel with the turn off the master switch with the remote control with the opposition. When the train stops, go to the back of the steam generator, shut it down with the following manner: tip the control switch to the opposition, open the control coil blow down valve. Observe the blow pressure of the valve between 50 pound with the close of the valve. Open the separator blow down valve with the blow down steam separated with the main pressure. Then reclose the valve. Refill the steam generator with water with the turning of the control switch to the fill position. Open the fill test valve on the separator when the water begins to discharge from the valve closely. Turn the control switch off position. Open the main switch and close the atomizing air valve. Note, the steam generator is not filled readily with the use for the restarting. Do not omit the drain separating. Opening the fill test valve. Again, filling steam generator with water as may not have been done. Someone when shutting down the coils are already filled with water. It will only take about 1 minute for this to be indicated with the discharge water from the fill test valve. Instructions for draining the vapor of the DRK 4516, the DRK 4530, or the OK 4625 at the time type of the steam generator for the protecting against freezing. When possible, rain steam pressure for the steam generator, lift the letting of the cycle the service several times with the set the train line pressure for the 100 pound with one of the remote control panel with the stream train line valve with the steam valve with the clove of the stream train line valve with after the pressure for the train line reach of the 100 pounds. Open the both of the valves. Open the coil blow down valve with the generator pressure for the 75 pounds. Close it and open the separator blow down valve. 2. It will be necessary to proceed with the work with the outline with this valve, whether the above can be done or not. Open the water supply with the floor drain valve of the A and B with the unit steam generator with the valve that will be applied with the OK generator, but also when returning with the floor drain valve of the B with the unit steam generator with a small water tank. Open the water supply line valve with the open the plug drain valve with the large water tank in the B unit. Close the water suction to the top of the valve with the open wide with the drain valve at the front and the bottom with the water treatment tank. This valve will be applied with the OK generator. The open the water test valve with the wide. Open the wide water pump test valve in the 3-liter test plug with remove the drain plug and in the bottom of the water pump and work the water out of the pump with turning it over and hand in clockwise direction. Move the cover of the water treatment tank and lift out of the treatment chamber of the strainer screen and empty the water from both, which go over the top of the valve at the top of the separator coil emission valve to be wide open, separator blow down valve to be closed, water return line of valve at the head of the steam trap as the separator open coil blow down valve wide. Connect the air hose water filled with the test valve with the separator blow with what remains of the steam generator coil with the exhaustion economizer coil with OK with the also some DKRK separator rates only. Piping out of the oil blow down valve with the close of the water fill test with the open the water return line with the valve with the separator 15 more than with the air hose connected with the water filled with the test valve with the blow air from the strainer trap the coils into the heat exchanger throughout the drain line valve with the 16 brake pipe the connection to the bright water over the water bypass regulator for connection to air hose blow through the fuel control and the heat exchanger chamber with the economizer coil OK and the some DRK generators only, and piping out with the coil blow down valve with the close of the coil blow down valve. 17 remove the plug with the strainer and separator and reapply. 18 break the connection with the left side of the water bypass regulating valve with the pump test valve open, blow the air through the piping. 19 open the separator blow down valve. 20 break the water return line from the heat exchanger. 21 break the water inlet and outlet connection to the servo fuel control body blowout with the air. 22 remove the drain plug from the bottom of the heat exchanger and the steam trap. 23 break the steam water line with the steam gauge for the water pressure gauge for the water bypass regulator valve with the blowout with the water blowout with air. Soak up with the cloth of the water remains on the top of the steam actuator diaphragm with the water bypass regulator. 24 break the connection for the bottom with the water bypass regulating valve with the blow air with the air. 25 break the water hose connection between the A and B unit with the blowout with the air. 26 break the steam connection with the A and B with the units to let the drain reconnect. 17 27 open the drain valve and the steam line cap heaters. 28 after all the draining has been completed, all the valves are left to be open except for the following: steam generator water suction stop valve with the steam generator stop valve at the top of the separator. C, the manual steam train line valve, the shutoff valve, the D, the steam train line valve, and E, the water supply line with the floor drain valve, the A and B with the unit steam generators, F, the water return line, floor drain valve, B, unit steam generator, 200-gallon tank. Alright, Section 3, troubleshooting with the scope of the operator with the alarm warning signal light indication that the steam generator will shut down. The alarm bell will ring with the blower off, the warning signal light will flash on the warning light panel on the unit involved. At the top of the alarm with the control switch of the off of the steam generator involved with the investigate the cause of the difficulty remedy indicating below. No, if it is understood to be the strainers and other parts indicate with the possibly clogged or to be removed and taken apart and cleaned. Steam generators to shut down systems caused by remedy. 1. Reset the button on the stack switch. If the shutdown is due to the excessive stack temperature brought about with the burning of excessive fuel with the cover of the improper adjustment, the fuel pressure regulator, the other cause of remedy for which with the scope of the operator to overcome the difficulty proceed its valve to open the separator blow down valve with the drain of the separator, reclose the valve with the reset the switch button, turn the control switch at the fill position, close the main switch, refill the steam generator with the water, indicate with the steam, starting steam the generator on the page 5 of this will cover the blower to cool down the stack. D, turn the control switch to the running position, restart the button. B, 2, the reset button with the out of the steam generator with the control panel shut down is due with the motor overhead. Please proceed its valve. Control the control switch to the out position. Check with the cover the overflow load by turning the pump in the hand and see that it is not locked. With press the motor overload. Reset button to the reset of the switch to start the steam generator is in usual manner. If the both the reset button for the reset main switch of the breaker, the steam generator is usual manner. If the motor in the burner will not restart, the circuit breaker may have been tripped over the lever of the main center position. Move the lever to the full off position, then to the on position to reset. This in those units for the if in those units use the fuses instead of the circuit breakers, the main fuses may be blown. The fuses may be blown with the circuit over the blower to the blower if not, but check with the relay contacts. If the motor restarts, the burner does not spark with the peep side with the glass at the burner or the spray head. Check the fuse with the control panel with the converter circuit with the ignition temperature transformer. Check with the loose and broken ignition cable with the connection. C. If the motor restarts the burner does not and the spark shows through the peep of the sight glass, check the atomizing air pressure for the is less than See page 10, pressures. The strainer of the may be clogged with the air pressure of the producing valve, the atomizing air pressure, satisfactory air of the air, fuel strain with the burner spray head, the may be clogged with it should be cleaned, but the spray nozzle may be clogged with the, taken out with the spray head, remove the nozzle, clean it with even the toothpick or the wooden splint, or a clean nozzle discharge, or if they do not use a metal pick, if the water pressure does not show with the gauge of the, or if the pressure is low, the shutdown of the due to the operation servo fuel control because of the lack of the water brought through about by the lack of the water in the tank's cool, blow down valve opening, air leak in the water suction line. Water treatment and strainer tank cover the suction line. The strainer tank cover loose with the rubber breather hose loose in the suction line, etc. Clog strainer, screener, and the water treatment tank of the line strainer tank. For inoperative water bypass regulator, to try the clothing the water inlet valve of the water bypass regulator, the burner start with the one to the indicator of the water of the bypass regulator. Inoperative is set the manually operating the steam train line pressure by opening and operating the manual water bypass valve. If the burner does not restart, open the closing the water inlet valve of the water bypass regulator. If the pressure does not show on the manifold pressure gauge while the water pressure appears to be adequate, this is an indication that the pure light oil filter is clogged. Turn the handle of the filter clockwise several times and free the filter. If the fuel pressure on the nozzle pressure gauge is excessive while the water pressure appears to be adequate, but it is the indicator of the clog with the strain of the nozzle, burn fuel spray with the head with a determined cover the trouble with a remedy to be sure. Open the water inlet valve of the water bypass regulator by restarting the steam generator. Alright, sharp drop in the train line pressure. The burning cycle is off and on. The indication of the burner is being off the steam temperature alignment control of the because of the excessive steam temperature cutoff of the insufficient water delivery. Also, indication that the servo fuel control may be out of adjustment. Do not attempt to adjust the fuel control. This job is for a qualified maintainer. Report a difficulty encountered during the service on the arrival of the destination. Indicate that the corrective measure that has been taken. If any of the DRK OK steam generators have controls, so they arrange to stop to shut down the motor and pump when the steam generator is not required. Burners go out. And then you have a grid. This is the vapor car heating of the car incorporated rail exchange in Chicago, Illinois. Please check out my sway on this. You can find it on Facebook or ask me for the link, and I will send it to you, Nugent Rosenberger at Adam at Hotmail, or just check me out on Facebook and write me a message. Schematic of the piping diagram, and then a small electrical circuit diagram for the steam generator, as well as another steam generator circuit. Alright, this has been the Diesel Electric Road Locomotive, GP7 locomotive. Basically, half of the book was your steam generator.